Hi everyone. In this video, we're going to read the next chapter of Attack of the Tiger. Chapter 13, Dirty Disguise. Shredderman.com wasn't actually registered to my mom and dad. It was registered to Shredderman. But Shredderman had used Eve Bird's credit card number. And even though I'd taken all the privacy options, I didn't know how much information a reporter like my dad or a police friend like Sarge could dig up. If Shredderman was going to catch the tiger, I had to act fast. First part of my plan had backfired. Now that a lot of people thought Shredderman was the tagger, I didn't have much to lose. But to pull off the rest of my plan, I was gonna need bubonic hearing and X-ray vision and an invisibility cloak. Or I was gonna have to ditch school. Ditch school? I never even thought such a thought. But boy oh boy, I was thinking it now. It was the only way. I had a lot to do before morning though. A lot. First step, write an email. One that I'd sent to only one address, bixby@bignet.com. I couldn't send it to everyone. That would blow everything. And since I didn't know the tagger's email address, the next best thing was Bubba's. He would tell the tagger. He had to. I got to work on my message. It had to be just right. So I wrote it and rewrote it and rewrote it again. And when I was all done, I sat back and read it. The tagger's not cool. He's not sly. He's not funny. He's not smart. What he is a coward. Totally chicken. If he wasn't chicken, he'd do something real. Something dangerous. Anyone can tag the side of a building. Big deal. Anyone can spray the inside of a kiddie slip. Anyone can spray the inside of a kiddie slide. Whoop-de-doo. But here's something the tiger would never spray. Ivana Voss's car. Why? Because that would take guts. Brock, 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 Tagger, you're lame. Did the Tagger take the bait? If it was Ryan, would he really spray paint his own mother's car? He would know it was a trap, but with Bubba and his friends teasing him about the challenge, he'd be pressured into it. At least that's what I was counting on. I saved the email to my draft folder. I couldn't send it yet. Timing was everything. Then I did my homework and went to bed. And even though it was late, I wasn't sleepy. Not one bit. I just lay there in bed, running my plan through my head over and over again. When I was sure Mom and Dad were finally asleep, I got up. I pulled dark sweats over my pajamas. I put my safety scissors in a sweatshirt pocket and wiggled into my shoes. Then I did something I'd never done before. I opened my window, pulled out the screen, climbed through, and jumped. The ground was only about a 4-foot drop, but for a second there it felt like I was flying. I landed like a real superhero too. Feet steady, hands out. Oh yeah. I scuttled across the street, looking all around. I was smooth. I was quick. The streetlights were bright, but I don't think anyone saw me. I was in sneak mode. Instead of using the sidewalk, I went down to the soccer field. Then I crept up to the teacher's parking lot and through the bushes. Not a car anywhere. But aha, the yard waste bags were still piled up by the office. I swooped down on them without a sound. Lots were heavy with grass clippings, but I found one full of big dry leaves that was light. Boom! I threw it over my shoulder. Tip, 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 tip. I tiptoed across the parking lot. The bag was full, but carrying it was easy. I felt like some sort of super Santa. I moved it into the bushes. I untied the bag's drawstrings. I emptied half the leaves. I had to make room for me. A totally empty sack would have been easier, and for sure more comfortable. But I wasn't doing this for ease or comfort. I was doing this to catch a villain. Plus, a boy in a sack does not like yard waste. It looks like a boy in a sack. When I was done dumping leaves, I started cutting flaps. Flaps that hinged on top. 2 on the bottom for the legs, 2 on the sides for the arms, 1 in front for the face, and inside the face flap, another little 3-inch flap from my right eye, my camera eye. Then I hauled my trash sack disguise back up the hill. I lost a few leaves out of the flaps along the way, but not too bad. I hid my sack behind the other yard waste sacks and looked all around. Had anyone seen me? No. The whole block looked deserted. I crouched by the sacks for a minute just to be sure. It felt weird being at school alone, but in the dark, I felt like I'd been beamed up to a distant planet in the galaxy. Only there was my house, right across the street. When I left the sack and ran for home, it felt like I was running under negative G's. I was weightless. Across the parking lot. Across the street. I was flying. Gravity started working again when I tried to get back in the window. Boy, it took me forever. When I finally got inside, I put my screen back in, set my alarm, and hit the hay. My brain was zooming without doubts. Timing was everything, but how long should I wait? I couldn't send the email too soon. Ryan would have the chance to tag his mother's car in their own driveway. But what if Bubba didn't check his computer before school? What if he didn't call Ryan in time? I'd be ditching school for nothing. But the more I thought about it, the more I convinced myself that my plan would work. I'd gotten same-day action with my Tagger alert email, and they were probably now on red alert. Plus, Ryan would be more of a big shot to his friends if he tagged his mother's car at school, and it would be easier to cover his tracks. There'd be hundreds of kids to question, lots of suspects. But was I really going to ditch school? Was I really going to hide in a trash sack? Was I really going to? When my alarm buzzed in the morning, I felt like I hadn't slept a wink, but there was no time to snooze. I jumped out of bed, I booted up my computer, I read the email over one last time. Then I clicked on send and crossed my fingers that my plan wouldn't backfire again.